If you follow this channel, you probably know me as a guy who relies on film to develop most pretty much all of my football takes. I'm not a big analytical guy. Just happen to be neurodivergent, so sometimes numbers can kind of trick my brain a little bit. That's why I like to just watch the tape. And as they say, tape doesn't lie. But there's also some pretty interesting trends that advanced analytics can provide, and this is one of them. This is a pretty crazy situation, and we've heard about these numbers. We've already done videos on it, but it's like for me, it's visual. Like I can see the disparity between these numbers. And what this is it is yards after catch percentage. So basically, what teams are getting most of their yards after catch. And we talk about the San Francisco 49ers, we have talked about them as having the Yak Kings, the Yak God, the Yak Brothers. Like when you look at Debo, you look at Kittle, you look at CMC, you look at Ayuk, those guys are great at turning, catches and rushes and things or catches into yards after the catch. So, that's been one of the things that has actually been used as a deterrent against giving Brock Purdy credit for playing good football. And it's just a crazy visual, and I'll pull it up to make it even bigger. You can see that all the way in that right corner, the San Francisco 49ers are dead last with 32.1% of their receiving yards coming from Yak. So yards after catch, they have the lowest rate in the NFL. And you can see the next closest is the Vikings with 40.4%. And then you can go all the way to the front of the list, and you can see that the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes are at the very top of the list with getting his passing yards from yards after catch at 64.4%. And obviously you can see all the teams in between. But again, this is a visual representation of advanced analytics that shows again a narrative that is used typically to diminish Brock Purdy and what he's been able to do as a quarterback. This they always point, oh, he's got the Avengers. It's all his yards and everything he does is after the catch. This is crazy. Again, I'm a visual person. Like give me some charts, give me something that can visually stimulate my brain. Okay, I can start to understand it a little bit better. I can visualize it a little bit more, and you can see that the despair is it's crazy. It's crazy, right? All the way down there at the bottom right corner. Chiefs are at the top. And again, it's just an interesting narrative. And I'm also not sitting here saying, like, oh, well, that means, Patrick Mahomes is a yak merchant. That's not what that means either. We all understand Patrick Mahomes is considered to be the best quarterback in the league right now, and for good reason. And when you have the success that he's had, you get that title. It is what it is. But it's just a funny situation of how everything is developed because Brock Purdy is leading the league in, passing yards downfield, almost doubling Patrick Mahomes in yards per attempt. It's an amazing development to this season because all the things that maybe Brock, was being questioned on last season, he has flipped on its head. He is now leading in a bunch of the major statistical categories when it comes to quantifying pushing the ball downfield. And obviously, we see it on tape. But when you start to chart it out and you start to compare against what other teams are doing, what other quarterbacks are doing, it's pretty remarkable considering the evolution of Brock Purdy right now. So I know that there's a lot of conversation about Brock. I do expect that, hopefully soon that this will go away because we will all just understand that Brock Purdy is a really freaking good quarterback. and we don't have to keep going back and forth with like, we'll see what the data says, see what the tape says. And you still have these guys out here like your Colin Cowards and your Nick Wrights who don't understand football still saying, well, I'd still take 14 other quarterbacks. Or that throw in the corner of the end zone is more George Kittle play than a Brock Purdy play than when omitting the fact that that's one of the most difficult throws a quarterback can make. It's just I don't expect this to last too much longer, especially if Brock Purdy continues to play like this, because even your biggest doubters, even guys who are doing this because it's narrative driven and it gets them, talked about and discussed and gets them, drives views and clicks and things like that. Pretty soon they won't be able to do that anymore because all they will be doing is damaging, their credibility. At a certain point, like I totally understand, playing the kind of like the villain role, especially with the 49ers fan base. Many media members have done it in the past. And because for good reason, it drives a lot of engagement, good, bad, indifferent. It drives a lot of engagement. We have a very passionate fan base. Our fan base cares quite a bit. And so if they disagree with you, they're going to let you know. And so as a result of that, that drives engagement, that drives clicks and views. And so if you don't care about, having a super credible football take, and you're in the entertainment business and you're looking to keep people like checking in, well, what does he say now, or what is his thoughts now? Like Brock is he's a media dream, because you can discredit him based on where he was drafted, what he looks like, perceived narratives and things of that nature. But again, we're getting to the point where you can't do that anymore. We're getting to the point where all the things that they have relied on and have put in their back pocket, they're evaporating in front of our eyes. They are disappearing right before us. And it's pretty amusing to watch, because obviously we, at least on this channel, I have had the very highest of things to say about Brock since he entered the game against the Dolphins in 2022. And all I've seen from Brock is a continued evolution and improvement to his game. So for me, I get enjoyment out of this, because not only do I believe Brock Purdy is a good quarterback, not only do I believe a lot of the negative takes about him are misguided from people who don't understand what they're watching or understand how to actually talk about football and evaluate football, is that, again, you just see the evolution, you see the process, and you can sit back and you can see him improving and getting better as a quarterback, as a 24-year-old. And it's hard not to root for a guy like that, especially with all the kind of that he hasn't done anything to deserve any type of negative backlash. But again, we live in a troll culture now where people love to troll, people love to be contrarian, and it suits them. But at a certain point, it's not going to suit this Brock Purdy narrative much longer. Let me know what you guys think about this situation, what you think about this chart. It's crazy. Let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.